Oh, I guess I would argue that, Toyota I'd say they no longer are. I think they were appropriately positioned. I kind of disagree with the point that, if you over specialize in one area, it leaves you behind. I think they were appropriately positioned with the hybrids to segue directly into battery electric vehicles. They understood battery technology. They had at least some technological advancement for the electric motors and regenerate. I mean, they understood the market. They understood who they were selling to, and whatever the reasons are in leadership that they've chosen to not stay that course, it's certainly disappointing. I say circling back to that, but it's
all they needed was a plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying it for years. I mean, we all agree it's a huge disappointment that they didn't jump straight into batteries and do that. And we've been in those meetings where the reasons were explained. It had to do with 95% of the world's population not needing 300 miles on a charge, and they looking at weight, price, and charge time. Toyota positioned themselves to be that car for 95% of the world's population that drives less than 20 miles a day. That was it. It's one of the same reasons why most phone batteries don't last more than one day. You're expected to, you could charge them overnight. And that was Toyota's approach. Why do you need a 300-mile battery when you drive under 20 miles a day and you can charge it overnight? And that was one of the reasons that was explained to some of us.
Yeah, but I mean, like every year the Volt, it got more miles every single year, even though that was their initial argument is, hey, it does what you need for your daily commute. And then they canceled it.
They seemed, then they canceled it. But they still seem to have a better sense of their market and their audience and what people wanted.
Right. And also, I'm not making Toyota's argument. I'm repeating what I've heard.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I'm disappointed that they haven't done it. I'm just saying, here's what I think, here's what I know was some of their reasoning. And the reason I bring that up is I'm now expecting someone to be typing comments saying, but Tony, you're full of shit. And no, I'm simply repeating what Toyota has said to me personally.
I do want to, there's an argument in sports, and this will shock most everyone who listens and watches and everyone on the show, because I don't do a lot of sports metaphors. But there's a thing in sports that I like. It's a single word, and it's the mic drop. It's the end of the argument. And that's when somebody just says scoreboard. And you can't argue with Toyota's win-loss record. They're making money. They're growing their company. They're making more cars. Now, are they doing it the way we want them to? No. Are they doing it the best way for the planet? No. But that's not necessarily their job. They're not a nonprofit here to make the world better. They're here to make a product and make money and keep their company going, and hopefully not do it in a bad way.
So to some degree, I agree with you. And I'm a score.
That's horrifying,
look at the
Evan.
Final score too, but I think if we look at the scoring trends, the Model 3 is making an impact in Prius sales and in the hybrid sales.
But Tesla's not making any money.
Well,
so yeah, but look,
they're tiny.
Where's this going? What's if we extend this trend out another 5 or 10 years, how far behind is Toyota going to be?
Not at all.
Now, I know we were going to talk about this. We were going to talk about this later, and I had pulled up inside EV scoreboard shows that Prime is still selling more cars month over month. And I know we were going to talk about this later.
More cars month over month than what?
The Prime, there's more Prime sales than Model 3?
No, not more Prime than sales. More Prime this month than last month. Last month than the month
okay, I was about to say.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but how many Primes do they sell compared to Model 3s?
No, but that's not the point. That's not what we're doing. We just talked about, and somehow we got into Toyota strategy. we were not originally comparing manufacturer to manufacturer. We were
I see what
simply
you're saying.
talking
They're trending up,
scoreboard.
which means they're doing something right.
Right.
Let me,
Yes.
Again,
Well-
I would go back to I'm a supporter of Toyota. I think they've done a lot of things right over the history of that company, and I think they produce fantastic cars. And that's where my frustration is this isn't coming from it of Tesla's better, fuck Toyota. Mine is more, I want Toyota to succeed in this environment as well. I don't want them to become the next Kodak, right? I want them to join in this movement that Tesla's initiating and be successful in the long run.
there are some assumptions there, Dr. Fusco, that aren't necessarily in evidence. Would you agree to that?
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough. Then
I do.
I have no
I mean,
problem
look,
with that.
this is a big complex industry. No
Mhm.
freaking question about that. But things can change very, very quickly. One more war with the Middle East and gas prices shoot up to $8 a gallon in the U.S., like where they ought to be compared to the rest of the world, and all of a sudden people are going to start shitting bricks, and the automobile market, at least for the personal automobiles, is going to shift quickly and dramatically.
And that's how Toyota got their foothold in the 70s. I mean, they had
Gas lines.
a cheap Corolla that was $29.95 that got 40 miles to the gallon or whatever the equivalent was back then, and you could park your Chevy Impala, and drive the Corolla.
Yep.
Exactly. And we all want the same thing. We all want every manufacturer to succeed and move us forward. I mean, shit, that's why we've been doing this for 9 years.
And I think if Toyota at the corporate level puts their engineering talent on EVs, they could come out with a powerhouse of a vehicle. I mean, they've got some brilliant engineering. I mean, if anybody's going to be a Tesla killer, it could be Toyota.
Yep.
As far as a practical car, it won't be sexy, may not be the quickest accelerating, but it will be rock solid, reliable, cheap to own, cheap to run. And if they put their mind to it, it's going to affect the whole industry.
I agree.
But
So-
you don't need to kill Tesla. We just need more clean transportation. I mean,
Right.
Right. Yeah.
it's like Greta says,
yeah.
it's not getting any better unless we do something about it.
Yeah, we don't need to kill each other off. And
No.
again, that was another one of the points in the Matthew interview. Why is there always this levels of superiority?
The 24-hour news
why?
cycle.
No. Well, just the I drive a hybrid. I'm better than an internal combustion engine. Oh yeah, well I drive an EV and I'm better than your hybrid. Oh yeah, well I drive, and I forgot the plug-in hybrid that's in there somewhere in the middle. Well, I ride my bike to work every day, so I'm better than that. And I think Russell said, I whittled my bike out of a block of wood, so I'm better than the one that you bought made out of metal.
Right.
I mean, so there's always going to be this competition. One group is better than your. No, it doesn't need to be that way. We need to all coexist, and we need to all acknowledge each other's strengths situationally.
We all need to just do better. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
Evan, I was gonna argue with Evan, but you know what? I don't want to.